And we are live with session 9 of our Drown Gods game. And as always, everyone reset your hero pool points to 1. Try to remember that they do exist. They're very helpful. And who
Hero
wants
points, hero points, hero points.
and who wants to give the recap for an extra hero point? I mean, I can give myself a hero point and do the recap, and then, screw
we
you
roll
guys
good,
at some
you just
point.
like, yeah.
Just be like, you know what? I feel like I didn't roll high enough on that damage roll. Let me just go. Oh, max
Oh, man.
damage? I'm sorry you're dead.
That would honestly be a good punishment for all of us forgetting what happened since last session.
That would be kind of funny. I'm trying to remember was last time the games?
So that was time before last. The last time started up just after the games when you guys were getting ready to, go hide in a corner and use the fun juice that Sammy had stolen for you.
And we got told the whole story, right? Yeah.
Yes, that was a thing that did happen later. So do I need to give the recap? Because that's totally fine. If it would be better for me to do it.
We could not consecutively, collectively. There we go.
There we go.
Give the recap. If anybody else has more memory of what happened.
And then all of you get 1/3 of a hero point.
There we go. It's like you
nothing.
can roll 1/3 of your dice.
All right, so go ahead, or should I do the recap?
Oh no, you go. I was just gonna spitball.
Okay. So last time, you guys had just wrapped up all of the different games, and there was a lull in the kind of feast. It's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I just remember the giant light in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, yeah,
Hell
I will keep going then. So there was a little bit of a lull in the feast between different sections after the games had wrapped up, and you decided that it was a good time to go use the fun juice that Sammy had acquired for you at PPOP's request. So you gathered up and went to find Sammy, who was washing bandages by the ocean shore. Because she had been helping her mother and sister with all of the different wounded and injured from the various games, of which there were many. Not all caused by you. Many of them were just due to the dangerous nature of the game, such as, surfing down lava rock at night. So,
Not dangerous at all.
yeah, no, not all. No, nobody at all got hurt or maimed or injured, except all the people who did. And so you found her there and decided to sneak up behind her. And Ocalupu's new thing is Ocalupu can pick things up. And he did in fact pick things up. After sneaking up behind Sammy, he picked her up, startling her quite a bit. But you guys then invited her to join you, and you guys snuck off to the cave. Not inside of it, but next to it, and you then drank the what did we end up calling it? Ocean? It's like sea foam. That's what we call it. You drank the sea foam and got a definite buzz, as well as due to the hallucinogens and other ingredients, because this is not just an alcoholic beverage. You had kind of a little bit of a trippy experience, feeling very close to each other, a lot of ability to kind of emote and project other people's feelings onto yourselves, which there is a word for, but I'm blanking on it because I am dumb. Empathy. Yes. And then you guys decided that it would be fun to go and sneak back into Pele's hut and touch the skull again. And so you were on your way to do exactly that when you heard the gasps of the other villagers around you, and at first you thought you were busted, but then looking around you saw that they were all staring at the sky, and there was a huge constellation up there, which you recognized from the paintings that you've seen in the past as being the constellation of of the Great Tree. And this constellation was significantly brighter than any stars you'd seen before. And in fact, there were lines of light arcing between the various points in the constellation, something that certainly is not natural to the stars that you've seen. And after a short time, a beam of light from the very centermost star shot down into the ocean somewhere beyond the horizon, almost blinding you guys with its brilliance. This beam went on for, probably about 30 seconds or so before it slowly faded, and then the entire constellation began to glow less brightly and eventually faded away. And Pele said that this was an auspicious omen, one that showed that your group had truly earned the favor of the Great Tree, and said that it was now time for you to get your tattoos. So first up, Ocalupu pushed his way to the front of the line, so to speak, and was all prepared to be given a tattoo when, unfortunately, Pele found a tattoo already there. The one that he had acquired after fighting with the were-shark Haka, of a shark-faced man and a shark biting each other's feet, forming a circle, much like the Infinity Serpent. And Pele was surprised by this, but that was in fact his tattoo, and so he was not given an additional one. Next up, we had Manawa Nui, who got a tattoo, and his was the mark of the raven. He has raven wings on his shoulder blades in blue and gold. And I believe, yes, Manawa Nui did not succeed in his role to tough out being tattooed in a tribal manner, and so Ocalupu made fun of him for crying like a baby. And then Pipiopi went next, and his skin was possibly somewhat dulled the nerves by all of the tree sap that had glued sticks to him for some time, and so he actually had absolutely no problem with the tattoo whatsoever. And he was given an axolotl as his mark, and that would probably, if you hadn't put the pieces together, is your spirit animal. The dragon/snake creature in the cave that you couldn't really see was actually an axolotl the whole time.
I was legitimately just picturing Ka from
right.
Robin Hood.
Yep, and
Yeah.
then Sammy was the
Not
last
Ka.
one.
I'm sorry, I was picturing whatever that snake's name is.
It is Ka, isn't it?
No, I guess not, because Ka's from the Jungle Book. What the heck is that snake's name?
Oh, I am thinking of Ka from the Jungle
Sir
Book.
Hiss.
Sir Hiss.
Oh, Hiss from Robin Hood?
Yes, Robin Hood.
Legitimately who I was thinking of.
Okay, well,
It's from Jungle
They
Book.
have
the way
the
that
same
I
voice
was
actor,
doing
I'm
it,
pretty sure.
the way that I was doing it was much more Ka than Hiss, I have to say, but, you do you.
I've seen Robin Hood much more recently than Jungle Books.
That's fair.
Why.
And then Sammy went last, and she was given a tattoo of a rat, although it was done in black and red, which are unusual colors for the symbol and possibly ominous. And after receiving your tattoos, you were led by Pele into her hut, where she said she was going to tell you the rest of the story, something that wasn't told to the children. And so she went over in some quick detail the basic backstory of the world and how it was created by the Great Tree, and then how it accidentally had made things worse by crying into the bowl, and it had then planted seeds which were its own children, thus you, who were set there to put things right. But unfortunately, that quest has not gone very well. And she had revealed that the part of the story that wasn't told was that the Great Tree was actually impatient and was becoming a bit impatient about the progress that its children were making, and that it would eventually, if the quest that it had given its children was not fulfilled, it would eventually destroy the world and start over again from scratch. But that you most likely had years, if not generations, to try and eventually set the world right again. And that was about where we wrapped up. There were a couple more things. You guys asked her about Ocalupu's stone, which turned out to be a bloodstone, one that absorbed blood into itself.
That's right.
And then yeah, and then stored it as power, though Pele was not entirely sure how that power manifested or how it was used. And you also showed her your crystal that you found on the top of the volcano, which she identified as a homeward stone, a stone that would attune itself to an island, and then after that point, it would always point straight back to that island, and that you could reattune it by spending 3 days on an island. It would then reattune to the new island. And she did say that there was a way to permanently attune these stones to specific islands without them being able to reattune with the normal 3 days, but that she wasn't sure how that was done. And she also said that the skull that had been giving you visions was actually the skull of her predecessor, the previous shaman, who had the ability to see somewhat into the future, and that touching it often gave prophecies and visions to people, which is most likely what you have been seeing when you touched it. So that pretty much wraps it up. You guys had finished your conversations with her and had gone back outside. It was now time for the final phase of the feast, where everyone would enjoy the sea foam communally. And you were sent out of her hut with much on your minds. And I will give myself that hero point.
Nice work.
Good job.
You earned it.
I'm not gonna lie, I had like definitely forgotten like most of that.
I remember it after you
Yeah, once you
said
said it, I was like, oh,
Yeah, and that's why we do these recaps. For that exact reason. It's normal that happens.
yeah, just forgot like literally one of the most important sessions that, has furthered the story the most.
Yeah.
Big deal.
The lore doesn't really matter. We're really just here so Ocalupu can do push-ups and, pick things up. That's what we're really here for.
I'm here for the gambling. Dice rolls. Dice rolls.
Right, that too. We're going to have games again at some point, for sure. We definitely had a favorite in the stone surfing. Alright, so
Did
Sammy...
Did win the stone surfing? I thought one of the NPCs won.
I think PPOP won stone surfing.
Oh, okay.
Just
I
barely.
did win stone surfing.
One of the NPCs won wrestling.
Yeah, it was Ocalupu's mom won wrestling for the women's division, and then the male division is someone that you guys are not familiar with. NPC number 3, the guy that has like no name tag above his head, and his voice just sounds like they pulled in an intern and were like, "All right, say these lines."
In the credits as villager.
Exactly.
In my bag.
All right, so as you guys are leaving the tent, Sammy definitely looks quite crestfallen at the news. So she's cradling Chi-Chi and just kind of looking down at the ground.
Impending destruction of the world.
Yeah, just that little gemstone.
What are you, some sort of sissy?
I mean, she did cry while she was getting her tattoo, so yes.
I mean, this is true. I can't relate.
No, not at all.
Not at all, personally.
That
From
was quite a bombshell. Not that she would use that word. That was quite a surprise.
Look at it this way, Sammy. Now we know none of us is gonna die alone.
I
I mean,
guess
not,
that's
not
possible, though Mother did say that it would be quite some time before the world was destroyed, so
Or
I-
it could be tomorrow.
that's true. I guess we can only hope. Just one day at a time, right?
YOLO. Live life to the fullest.
What is this YOLO you speak of? Oh, you mean like Mr. YOLO, the one fighter we have who always rushes at the land sharks by himself and gets the crap beaten out of him every single fight?
Yes. Be like Mr. YOLO.
I think I'd rather not.
Okay, probably a smart choice.
I've had to heal him more than once after his little escapades, and it doesn't seem like fun.
You never know till you.
Yeah, to each their own.
Yeah. I guess there is Mr. Sato Maso, who is into that sort of thing.
All right, but how about we get together and we fix this little predicament ourselves?
So
What say you?
I have a. Do any of you guys have any idea how to actually get off the island?
Well,
Boat.
yeah. Ocalupu, your older sister, and Pipiopi, your older brother, actually. I think they were the last ones. They took one of our last remaining boats and sailed away, but they've never returned. Someone must know how to build boats, or perhaps we could learn. It seems straightforward. We have drawings. You take a tree, you cut it down, you kind of hollow it out, and it floats, I guess.
I hope.
Ocalupu, find us a tree.
Well, maybe not tonight. We should probably finish the feast, and then we can try something in the morning.
You made it sound like it was like a couple hour kind of deal.
Yeah, well,
We got Ocalupu on our team. He can hollow out a tree like it's nobody's business.
with his teeth. I mean, you guys own, between all of you, two stone knives. Well, technically one stone knife and one hardened wood knife. It's gonna be interesting trying to hollow out a tree.
And Ocalupu's teeth.
Ocalupu, Beaver Man.
Well,
I mean,
wait,
actually, to be fair, my shark attack, my bite attack, is actually pretty strong.
That's
we
true.
got
You do have shark teeth.
Electric palm. We could burn out the tree.
Has Mono Wanui admitted to having that yet? I feel like that's still under wraps.
Oh, I'm
What,
not supposed to
shark
know that. Sorry.
Oh, wait,
No,
what?
my burning.
You know his frost beam.
Oh.
He used that during the sinking sand escapade.
That doesn't help us hollow out trees, though. Not in any way I can think of.
I might be able
It
to.
shock the tree to death.
I might be able to create some after some with some fire. Oh my goodness. Sorry.
Stop it. Ow.
It just looks really
Yeah,
weird.
not shock it to death. Burn it. Burn it out like a controlled burn.
Yeah, I might be able to create some fire to burn it. I mean, we might need more than one log to practice on. And maybe like an area of like 50 yards, or 50 coconut tree length.
Maybe Sammy's right. Maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
I mean, if you guys want to start, then Yeah, we can do that tonight. It is getting pretty late though, and it is after midnight at this point.
Maybe we should do it in the morning after the celebration.
I'm in
What
for
do
a
you guys
morning.
All right. Well, let's go join everyone at the seafoam then.
Sea foam, sea foam, sea foam, sea foam.
All right.
You
So you guys head over. Some of the tribe had already settled in. Watches were put up, that sort of thing. So not the entire tribe is here, but a good chunk of them are. And in
Never
fact,
so
you
cold.
do see the old hermit among the crowd, who is laughing and definitely enjoying his sea foam as he sifts it through the few remaining teeth that he has. And yeah, you guys, go ahead.
I was gonna go up to the old man and say, why haven't I ever seen you down here before?
Because you were a
Ah.
baby. Babies
Well,
don't get to stay up late.
well, Sonny, you probably have seen me around, but until you actually see me, you don't necessarily recognize me. If that makes any sense to you. It's kind of like when you
Yeah.
learn a new word, and then you realize that you've been hearing that all the time, but you didn't know what it was. You didn't really think about it, and then now every time you hear it, you're like, "Oh, that new word! It's everywhere."
Huh. Yeah. I guess I never thought about it like
Yeah, until you get to know me, I'm just another old coot, right?
that. I guess so.
Well, don't worry about it. You give yourself a few more years, you'll be the old coot too.
I'm just gonna be sitting there a little bit, kind of trying to like work through his logic.
Or not. He might never be the old coot, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, your characters don't know that yet, though. Yeah, there are the signs of that. He has definitely not grown nearly as much as the rest of you have
Wink,
since he
wink.
I mean,
washed
or
up.
he could just die.
That's what I thought you were insinuating. I was gonna die.
I mean that too. Ocalupu does
Die
want to
as
feed
one
his
of
bloodstone.
Yeah.
It's just a drop of night, man. Don't worry about it.
Just drop a knife. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
1 liter drops.
While he sleeps, just slowly drain him out.
Just train my own vampire bats so they can, lick him before I poke him.
Yeah. Well, maybe you just need to embed the crystal into him so that it drains him and he becomes a husk man.
There we go.
It's just like an
Set the center of
undead
my
monster. All right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of the feast. The worry and whatnot that you guys had quickly is washed away due to the narcotics influence, and the very memories of the dire news become significantly more distant. And after some time, you guys are quite enjoying yourselves when suddenly the wind picks up quite a bit, and you see the palm trees around you begin to sway rather significantly. And unfortunately, with the light gone and the fact that this was a moonless night, you were not able to see it. But a large squall has actually come to the island, and before long, thick drops of rain are dropping on you, increasing in rapidity, and the wind is continuing to increase to the point where you have to lean into it to avoid being pushed over. And soon the entire village is mobilized. Pele is barking orders as loudly as she can to be overheard or to be heard over the sound of the wind whipping around, and trees are beginning to fall over, and huts are beginning to crash to the ground. And Pele is instructing everyone to make their way to the caves as a means of shelter. So
To the caves.
Yes. So yes, Ocalupu already in the caves before anyone even says anything. Sammy is out trying to help the younger members of the tribe make it there safely, trying to do head counts and ensure that nobody is left behind, along with her mother and Bob Ross. And is anyone else doing anything aside from just heading for the cave themselves?
I'm gonna like, I don't know, something about like the storm feels familiar, or like the experiences I'm experiencing. So I'm just gonna be like a little mesmerized while kind of looking off into off the shore into the ocean at the storm.
Yes, and you're doing that. You're staring. You're standing near the beach and staring off into the ocean. And in fact, you start to. It does feel oddly nostalgic. You feel as though you're smaller than you should be, and you can almost hear a voice on the wind before suddenly a gust bowls you over into the sand and knocks some sense into you.
I'm gonna come to my senses and quickly make my way to the cave, kind of looking, making sure like I'm not leaving any small children or something behind.
Exactly. Your bird has just been blown away. He's like 3 islands over now. Poor Reginald.
Come back, Reginald.
Oh, that's right. I'm gonna look for him first. If he's not with me.
I feel like Reginald's just like literally holding onto your hair as like that's why you fell over. Because he's just trying not to get blown away, but he's like a giant kite. Ow.
No, so you look around for Reginald and you do hear his calls, and you find him huddled down behind a rock a short ways from the beach.
I'm gonna pick him up and we're gonna slowly make our way to the safety of the cave.
All right. So everyone eventually makes their way to the caves, and
Oh, by the way, Ocalupu had grabbed food.
okay,
That's all. Just saying that.
cool.
And some of that barbecue sauce, am I right?
Yeah. That. He's just got like his secret stash of barbecue sauce and then like as much food as he can carry.
Well, you finished
Mostly.
off all of the barbecue sauce you'd stolen, so unless you're going all the way back to Loki's hut.
Nah, he's just mostly he's just gonna grab like as much meat as he can carry.
All right. And in fact, other villagers have also brought food and supplies. You don't remember it well, but you do remember one time when you were quite a bit younger. In fact, the night that that Manawanui washed ashore, something very similar happened with an enormous storm, and the entire tribe being forced to huddle down inside the caves to weather it out. And of course, in the morning, you had found little baby Manawanui. Not really a baby, but you had found Manawanui on the shores when you had gone exploring once the storm finally broke, and that one had lasted for several days. So you were prepared. The tribe is prepared for that possibility once again. And eventually, the entire tribe makes their way to the relative safety of the cave systems, and you can hear just the howling of the wind across the mouth of the cave. But otherwise, once you are inside, it is cool, but relatively comfortable and somewhat safe. People are getting set up in various areas near the entrance. The glow bugs have also been ushered inside, so there is fortunately adequate light despite being underground and also it being nighttime. And yeah, things are kind of settling in. What are people doing to settle in? Anyone doing anything in particular?
I'm gonna see if I can't find my compatriots.
When Manawanui showed up, Ocalupu wanted to name him Fish Face because he came from the ocean. But nobody would listen to Ocalupu.
Yep.
Fish are friends, not food.
Ocalupu's just like arranging his meats.
And
Alright.
PPOP found a dark corner to meditate.
Okay. So it's quite late. So Pele suggests that once everyone has settled in, that everyone goes to sleep. She assigns a couple of lookouts, and then otherwise says, "Well, we can only wait for the morning, and we'll see how long it takes for this particular storm to wash over us."
So I'm gonna go up to TPOP and I'm like, hey, well, we have the opportunity. Do you want to explore the cave?
Let's do it.
Hopefully not disturbing him too much from his meditation.
I'm in.
All right, let's go get Sammy and Ocalupu.
Ocalupu shouldn't be hard to find. Just
Follow the
Follow
sound
the
of
smell of
snoring.
meat.
the sound of chomping, I was gonna say. Lip smacking.
Gnawing on bones.
I get the feeling that at this point Ocalupu has zonked out.
Yeah, he arranged all his meats into like a giant like throne and then just like fell asleep on it.
Meat chair.
Meat toboggan. All right, and Sammy.
Ocalupu, wake up.
Don't touch my meats.
I slap his face left and right. Slip slap.
Which is funny because like Ocalupu's face like literally doesn't even move. It just looks like a small child trying to slap someone's face. And he's like, but don't tickle my face.
We're moving out. I'll leave you behind.
Ocalupu is like, wait, where are we going?
Don't ask questions. Just follow.
Ocalupu good at not asking questions. Ocalupu follow.
He has a point.
Okay, Sammy's up next.
All right, so Sammy is set up. She is surrounded by a group of children that she has ushered in, and they are using her as a giant pillow. And she's just like leaned against a wall. And she looks to be half asleep herself.
Psst, Sammy, you awake?
I guess. What do you need?
You wanna go exploring with us?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but only if Ocalupu will carry me. I'm tired.
Ocalupu can pick things.
All right, so she manages to wriggle out from under the children, and then, still eyes half lidded, kind of just reaches her hands up toward Ocalupu.
Ocalupu picks her up and just kind of like sets her on on his shoulder so she can kind of like lean over onto his head and go back to sleep probably.
Yeah. All right, and then yeah, you guys have your group together. So what's
All right.
next?
Deeper into the cave.
Steal one of the glow. Actually, I don't need to steal one of the glow
Just
bugs.
steal one of the glow bugs.
I have.
Just put a little leash on
light.
him.
Well, you
Just
guys
like a
have
lasso.
one called Pleakley, who is your favorite
Oh.
and is very friendly with you.
We'll go. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go grab Fleekley, and we're all gonna go exploring down back to the cave.
All right. Well, Pleakley requires very little encouragement. He is more than happy to follow you guys around. So you guys are ready to head out deeper into this cave system. So you have a variety of different directions you can go. It seems to split off into three main directions. One of which is relatively stable, so it's not going up or down very much. That seems to be heading kind of in a direction not toward the volcano, but more toward the side of it. So the side, if you remember, it has a gradual slope that you climbed during your first bit of the adventure, and then that gradual slope eventually becomes the main slope. So you are heading more or less toward the foot of the gradual slope is the direction that tunnel is initially heading. You have another one that is heading very steeply down and will require some climbing. And then another one that is heading more gradually down and more or less directly toward the peak of the volcano.
Well, I initially want to go down like the very steep one down, but like given Ocalupu's state.
Yeah, let's wait a second. Manawanui, can you check? Can you see stuff? Are you good at seeing in the dark?
Oh, I am good at seeing in the dark. Do I see anything? I look down the various caves.
No, you don't really see anything. It stretches off quite some ways, and all of them pretty quickly have some sort of a turn or a boulder or something else that blocks line of sight. Though they do all look like they must stretch on for quite some ways. The air in the cave is very still, but from the one that leads down, you do sense some slight breeze pushing toward you. And otherwise, there's no unusual signs on any of them. There's no lights that you can see further down. There's like no sounds other than gentle dripping, and no unusual smells. Just the wet kind of dank, cool smell of a cave.
Does my arc sense do?
What does your what do?
My arcane sense.
That would allow you to detect magic. So if there was like magic somewhere, you would be able to use your arcane senses to detect it.
I do have an innate detect magic skill. Okay, I was saying that to try and get around the fact that I didn't have arcane detect magic, but it's an innate spell, so I'm going to cast.
Right.
I got a 15.
So you sense very, very distant and vague magic, more or less evenly in all three directions.
Oh dang.
So there is something there, but it is very distant, and honestly, for you to be able to detect it at this distance through rock, it must be something enormous.
And it's coming from all three.
Yeah. In fact, it's not even coming specifically from the three. It feels like it's just coming from that direction.
I say we go to the one that goes to the heart of the volcano, but it's like a gentle slope. That's my vote.
I'm in.
Ocalupu?
Ocalupu follows.
Perfect.
Alright. So
lead the way.
You head off toward the rightmost of the tunnels. And it is rather gradual, however, it's not even by any stretch of the imagination. There are stalagmites and stalactites and rocks and all kinds of other things that you have to scramble over. And let's get probably survival to see how well you're able to navigate everything.
Okay.
I got a nat 20
Ooh!
plus my 6.
All right, so we've got a 26.
And I'm gonna use my assurance skill to forego rolling a survival check, instead use a result of 14.
All right.
And then do I get my survival bonus on top of that, or is it just a flat 14?
I'm pretty sure it's just a flat 14. Let's see. Special assurance. Okay, so it's 10 plus your proficiency bonus, which I'm assuming is 4, which is where the 14 comes from.
Oh, well, my skill survival says +6.
Yeah, but your proficiency is probably just 4. What? Let's see. Where's your skill? Skills. Survival. You are. At what level with it? Are you like
Trained.
expert? Trained. Okay, yeah. So that's the 4. So your proficiency bonus is trained, which is a +4.
Okay.
And then you probably have plus your like forget wisdom probably for survival.
Yeah.
And then your wisdom's probably a +2.
Yep.
Alright. What about Ocalupu? Seven.
Well, I did. I rolled a 7. I forgot plus.
Okay, so it's actually a 12. Yeah, I think it's because you put that space between the 20 and the plus. It didn't.
No,
didn't do it
that one
correctly.
just didn't work. And then I tried to roll again something different, and then I accidentally hit the enter button when I was trying to hit shift to hit the plus button.
I see.
And then I was trying to tell you that, and then I was muted, so nobody could hear me.
All right, we'll roll for you. 21. All right. So you guys are able to navigate it fairly easily, considering the rough areas. And PPOP does seem to be having some trouble, but it seems mostly because he's not putting a lot of effort out. He figures, yeah, this is good enough.
I was like, yeah, do the bare minimum.
Exactly. And that is enough. You were right. So you made your way some ways in with no major injuries, a few scrapes and whatnot, but that's really the worst of it. And how far are you planning to go? Because at this point, once you guys got settled into the cave, it's probably something like 2 o'clock in the morning. So
I mean, until
this
we find something interesting, I guess.
Or
Okay.
we could sleep.
So you travel for what feels like hours. You have absolutely no way to tell, given that you have no reference to tell the passing of time. And you continue your way. You can actually feel that the temperature has risen just ever so slightly, not by any significant amount, but that's really the only indication of your progress. Otherwise, the tunnel seems to have continued on very similarly. There are, different areas where it switches to going up and then down again and then climbing and squeezing through holes and other obstacles, but nothing that has blocked your progress or been especially unusual yet. And thankfully, it doesn't seem that there have been too many major branching paths, so you are not especially worried about getting lost.
Real quick, whenever there's a branching path, path, can I do a sigil of like where I'm going and which way I'm going?
Yeah.
And like where I've come from?
I forget, how many sigils can you do at one time?
I think it's a cantrip. Oh, I see what you're asking. I don't know.
Let's see, spells, sigil.
Loading.
Okay, so if it's on a creature, it naturally fades over the course of the week. The time before the mark fades increases depending on your heightened level. So it looks like you can put as many as you want. And if it's not on a living creature, it stays indefinitely.
Oh, cool.
Unless someone scrapes it off. Are you making these visible to everyone or just yourself?
I'll make them visible to everyone, probably. Like, that seems like a better idea. I don't see a reason why I should keep it secret.
Alright. So yeah, you place sigils at the various branching paths to kind of mark them as not the way.
I don't know why, but like every time I do something that I can't keep secret, I just have like the instinct to keep it secret, and I don't know why.
You know, maybe because you might need every advantage you can get when Ocalupu tries to bleed you dry.
when the bloodstone demands that I get killed.
Right? And Ocalupu just comes in and he's just wearing a mask and he's like, blood for the blood god.
That's funny.
Alright, so at this point, exhaustion is definitely starting to kick in, so you guys will need to either rest or start giving me fortitude checks.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we keep going or should we stop here and rest?
Probably rest.
Ocalupu, can that bloodstone?
Pretty sleepy. Let's go back and go to bed.
When you
Well,
say
if
go
we're
back, do you
back-
mean go back to the rest of the tribe?
Well, how far have we gone?
Like I said, you can't tell for sure because of the lack of anything to tell time with, but it feels like hours.
So we should probably just pass out.
Yeah. I say we look for a nice little open space so we all can kind of be able to stretch out a little bit and go to sleep.
We should probably have someone, like at least a few people, kind of take some shifts and like have a watch out.
Good idea.
Yeah, I
appreciate
mean-
you're volunteering.
Sammy's like, I actually got some sleep, so I can take watch.
You're the man. Good night.
Alright,
I pass out.
You guys actually find an area. The whole thing seems to have at one point been some sort of a lava flow, so this is kind of a lava tube that you're going through. And you find an area where it seems some large bubbles had kind of burst or formed. And so there are some nice, smooth caves that go just a short ways off of the main tunnel that each of you are able to set yourselves up in. And yeah, so Pleakley also kind of sets himself up to sleep. He doesn't quite go dark, but he does dim. Normally, he would sleep during the daytime, and you wouldn't even be able to see the glow. But here, in the absolute darkness of the cave, he provides just a slight bit of a nightlight to everything. And Sammy sets herself up. And yes, all of you are completely exhausted from the day. You've had a long day. Even before you got to the village, you had to hike all the way back from the volcano, and then you had the games, and then everything else that has happened, and exploring into this cave, and the fact that it is late. All of you more or less just drop like a sack of bricks. So, as the night wears on, Manawa Nui, You feel something shaking your shoulder gently.
Gonna open if I.
Yes, it is a 6 foot tall version of Chi-Chi.
You
Uh,
feel.
and you
She's
see it. You
you're
see its
gentle.
enormous incisors reaching down over your head, and they snap your head off cleanly at the neck.
Sounds about right. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of had it figured. I was like, she's gonna stay up and do the watch. Don't quite feel safe with that, but
But no, in fact, it is actually Sammy herself.
biting my head off?
No, shaking your shoulder.
No. What is it?
Well, this is kind of a weird question, but you know, I've always liked you. And we are adults now, right?
I I suppose.
So, would you mind being my first time?
Uh, I don't know if this is the the right place, you know?
Well, everyone else is asleep, and we're about as alone as we ever get in the village.
Well, yeah, but what if it comes with the tubes
It'll
to
be
get us?
fine. We haven't seen anything this entire time, and we've been hiking down here for hours at this point.
But if you were a predator, wouldn't you wait till your prey was distracted? That's what I would.
I think you worry too much. Come on, let's have some fun.
I think, you being the daughter of Pele, kind of just want to keep my head down. I don't really want to raise the ire of the chief village people
Uh,
against me.
Mom won't mind. And besides, you know, we don't have to tell her. Not if you really don't want to, though. I really do wish that you'd be all right with telling her eventually.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like kind of take a look around, specifically for like I don't know, maybe like a small conniving rat that's gonna kill me.
No, Chi-Chi's not even in sight.
See, now I'm suspicious. But, I think I'm just gonna, I think I'll pass. So I like kind of squint skeptically. Can I do like like a detect? Yeah, can I do like a detect magic? See if like there's like something lurking. Well, can I look around with my low light vision?
Yeah. So you look around, and you do have the nightlight from Pleakley, and it
Mm-hmm.
is still glowing gently. And you see exactly what you saw before you settled in to go to sleep. Just the walls of the cave, the gentle dripping around. There really aren't a whole lot of odd areas around you. There were the caves that you set up in, but otherwise, there's the tunnel leading up and down the way that you came and the way that you're going. And no unusual noises or sights.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then if you
That's
do use
doubtful.
detect magic, you do of course detect magic coming from Sammy herself, but she is a magician, so that is not surprising. That's something you would expect.
Hmm. Hmm. Where's
I'm sure he's around here somewhere. He's probably just behind one of the rocks.
lurking? No, I didn't say that out loud. I thought that.
Do you have a problem with Chi-Chi?
No, I mean, I just get some strange, you know. I'm trying to think of another word for vibes, but like in lieu of a better word, get strange vibes. I have a feeling he doesn't like me being around.
I don't know. I think Chi-Chi likes you. I mean, if it would make you feel any better, I can call Chi-Chi over.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
All right, so she closes her eyes for a second, and then briefly afterward, Chi-Chi does come scrambling up from some of the rocks in the tunnel that it had evidently been behind, and just kind of patters up, and she picks it up in her hands and starts petting it and says, "See." She puts Chi-Chi down on your chest, and Chi-Chi just kind of comes up and sniffs at your chin for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Just gonna say, can I like? Do I like? Can I? I can't talk with Chi-Chi, can I? Like, I can't like send him. I don't know, telepathic thoughts.
No, not unless you have a spell for that. But
I
you
don't.
can do that sort of thing with your own familiar, but not with someone else's.
Hey, hey there, little fella. Tap him on the head.
So Chi-Chi just makes a small noise and kind of just looks at you. Whiskers still kind of, wrinkling as it sniffs the air.
Yeah, there.
See? I think you and Chi-Chi could be good friends.
Yeah, or he could like kill me in sleep.
Oh, come
Random
on.
thought.
He's just a little rat. How would he even do
Mhm.
that?
I
I
mean,
mean,
like,
I should be more worried about Reginald. What with his enormous talons.
Reginald can't sneak up on you while you're sleeping.
Of course he could.
He's
Plus,
not.
Reginald can fly. He could appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, but Reginald. Just saying, theoretically speaking, you haven't been threatened by Reginald.
Are you saying you've been threatened by Chi-Chi?
I'm not saying that I haven't been threatened by.
It's an odd thing to say.
It. Just you remember when we were at the Hermit's house?
Uh-huh.
I either dreamed or woke up in the middle of the night. How you feel about it? That Chi-Chi came up to me and what he put his didn't he like try like mime biting my neck or something?
No. No, he just
Like
he sat on your chest and he had red glowing eyes. But to be fair, you have no idea whether or not that actually happened or if it was just a nightmare. Because you then woke up to Chi-Chi just quietly snoozing away.
maybe it would be a weird dream. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, from what you said before, you often have strange dreams, like this odd space, the hard-sided, smooth cave that you've talked about, and then you got hit by water, and I feel like it must have something to
Yeah,
do with how you got washed ashore to us, but I can't make sense of it.
I mean, either I was hoping that like your mom or one of the other village elders, they so far they not.
Yeah, no, I can't see any reason that they would withhold that information from you if they knew about your origins.
I mean, they withheld the whole end of the world thing
That's true,
from me.
but
I think
I
there's a
can.
lot of secrecy going on.
I don't know if one secret is a lot of secrecy, but it is a rather big bombshell to be dropped on us. Which again, she doesn't say bombshell because that's not a thing that she would know about.
Are you on mute again?
I vote it's falling coconut instead of a bombshell.
That's quite a
That it's
coconut.
falling coconut.
That's quite a falling coconut to drop on someone.
Yeah.
But I can also understand why they wouldn't necessarily want to have that looming over your head as a child.
Maybe. Just seems as if there's something sinister going on. Can't quite put my finger on it.
I don't know. I think you're too suspicious.
Maybe.
Now, come on. Back to the
What?
matter at hand.
I was hoping we'd kind of forgotten the matter at hand.
I mean, if you're really just gonna say no to me, I'll have to find someone else.
I don't.
I mean, don't you like me?
I mean, I do, but you know, I just feel like this is not quite the time or place, you know.
When is the
weird,
right
shady
time and
cave.
place?
Well, hopefully not during a storm.
That seems like the
Or-
perfect time. We're stuck inside. We have nothing else to do.
I mean, we could sleep and explore.
Yeah, you've already done some sleeping. And we'll start exploring more in the morning.
If it's not the morning already.
Well, that's true. I suppose I should say we'll continue exploring once everyone's up.
Yeah. And also, that's, you know, there's like, not Manawanui. I'm Manawanui. I know. There's Ocalupu and Ethiopia just over there, man.
Well, they're not that close. And they're in in their own little bubbles. We won't bother them.
I thought we were in like a big chamber.
No, so there's
there's, like, little
multiple
bubbles
lava bubbles, and each of you are in your own little bubble.
Oh. I don't know, man. There's something about it just feels off.
I mean, if you're sure, I guess.
Again, like, is Chi-Chi, quick question, is Chi-Chi still on my chest?
No, she's picked Chi-Chi up again.
Okay. I have accidentally destroyed one of Cordelia's toys, and now she's trying to eat it, so... There we go. I'm gonna like, kinda like, snuggle into my bubble a little bit. More. Kind of keep a not a weather eye, but you know, I'm gonna keep one eye open while I kind of go back to sleep.
Okay. But you will consider it eventually, though, right? You said now's just not the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of wanna know more things.
All right. Well,
Before.
good night then, I guess.
Good night. Says like.
All right.
Squint suspiciously as he walks away.
So, Peepiopi, you are also sleeping, but you've had a rather restless night. Even though you fell asleep almost immediately, you've been having odd visions and odd dreams, and most of them are a blur and a mess of images and symbols that you don't quite understand and can't quite grasp. And certainly once you wake up are almost entirely a blur. But one thing you do see, and this is rather clear, and you can hear the voice of your spirit animal as this part of the dream goes on, and it says, "Seek the key," and it just repeats that over and over. Seek the key, and what you see is in a green glow. You see the cave walls very similar to the ones around you, and stuck in a kind of alcove created by a boulder, you see a skeleton and it is grasping in one hand some sort of a stone slab with blue glowing symbols etched across it. And so that is the main thing that is etched into your mind as you're all woken by Sammy, who is just kind of going to each of you and going, "Come on, guys, time to wake up. I think it's probably been, 5 or 6 hours."
Okay, let's keep
Modeling.
exploring.
I'm gonna go over to not Pakalaka, Palalaka. That's Ocalupu's brother. What's the Pleakley? Go to Pleakley and kind of like rouse him, shake him a little bit.
Yep, so rousing Pleakley, he does eventually kind of start to stir and glow a bit more brightly. So Sammy says, Ocalupu, did you happen to bring any food? We could have breakfast before we head out.
Ocalupu always brings food.
That's what I suspected.
Ocalupu brings forth some steaks.
Brings forth some steaks.
All right, and Manawanui, I believe you have magic to cook things now, right?
I do, actually. I'm going to go up to the food and which one? Prestidigitation? Is that it?
No, it was not prestidigitation.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it was. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, you're right. It was prestidigitation. I forgot they've added like a bunch of stuff you can do with prestidigitation that you couldn't use to.
Did it just used to be able to like lift before?
Well, prestidigitation didn't really have much of an actual effect before. It mostly was just like, hey, you do some cool looking magic stuff that you could maybe impress some, yokels with.
No kidding.
Yes, now you can cook, cool, warm, or flavor 1 pound of non-living material. So you can always flavor some rocks and then lick them if you wanted to.
Oh, I'm going to cook and flavor this meat. Although I don't know if I have a good palate, but I think it tastes good. So
everyone, like, you bite it and it's just straight pepper.
Straight pepper.
You're just like, hey, did you put any pepper in this? Just a pinch. Well, I think I got the whole pinch.
Alright, so do I have to roll on that, or is that just something that gets done?
No, that's just one of your cantrips. So yeah, Ocalupu, I'm sure, because nobody knows you have this spell yet, was just about to chomp into a raw steak.
Yes.
I'm just gonna cook that for you, like what that old guy did. So I don't need no pots or cans. I don't need to create fire. So I'm gonna go up to the meat and cast prestidigitation and cook it and give it something that I think is good. So a hint of lime, some paprika, and yeah, I'm trying to think of something else I'd run on trap limes.
I don't think you even know what limes are.
Do they grow on this island?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna flavor it
with coconuts.
With coconut.
Coconut banana flavored steak.
Sounds good to me. You want to eat? Huh? You want to eat? No. So all right, I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna do that. Oh, my wife is.
All right. So with steaks cooked, everyone does eat. And you guys find a pool of clear water that is dripped from the roof of the cave and seems to be honestly cleaner than most of the water you drink on the surface. So you are able to get in there and get something to drink. Sammy also goes into one of the larger pools and briefly bathes herself to get clean. You guys haven't
Did
really
she-
bathed since you did your entire climbing of a volcano.
Ocalupu doesn't bathe. Bathing is for women.
Exactly.
Do we have like canteens or that's not something that
No.
is.
No, you do not.
Well, I'm just gonna drink my fill then.
Drinks until you throw up.
After Luke becomes a stone.
How are you feeling, buddy?
Man, I'd hate to waste all that fire. No. Is this right by where our campus?
Yeah, this is pretty close to where you had spent the night.
I'm gonna go up to the wall and make a sigil there. Gravy Cordelia. Oh, before I drink the well, no, I guess I wouldn't know. So I'm just gonna haplessly drink the water.
Ocalupu is going to bring a handful of the water over to Whanui. And he's gonna be like, "Hey, so you know that thing you did with the meat? Can you turn this into the dip?"
I suppose I can try. I'm gonna cast prestidigitation on the water and see if it to make it taste like the dip.
Alright, well, let's see. Let's get a crafting roll.
Already. Oh.
That one.
Why? So you can just like. You're the one eating it.
I know, that'd be funny.
I got a 16.
Okay.
Alright, so he does cast prestidigitation on the liquid, and you can't see any difference unless you also warmed it up.
No, I just changed the flavor.
Alright,
Ocalupu's gonna stick his tongue in it.
alright. It is a pale imitation, but
Aw.
is reminiscent of the barbecue sauce. Though the texture is also completely wrong, as it is just water.
Yeah.
Flavored water.
Close enough. I'm gonna take like a few chunks of my steak and put it in there and eat/drink it.
Alright. It would be good if
Ocalupu
not
is
for the
happy.
memory of what could be.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
Start bottling and selling flavored water, but only to like the cool hipster islanders.
Exactly. Just be like, I only drink LaCroix.
I don't drink water.
Alright, so you guys are ready to head out then?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So you all recommence your journey. This time Sammy is actually walking for herself. You guys continue to make your way down the cave, so let's get some more survival rolls.
You have a plus.
I know.
Oh, I got a 19.
Sammy got a 21.
She's trying to get up there. No, she's not trying to get it from you. She just wants to sit up there and look out the window. Yes. She flees from you like friends flee from Whanui.
Alright, so all I've heard so far is what Manawanui got. A 19.
Oh, I got 15. It's in the chat on the roll.
15 for Ocalupu. What about PPOP?
I'm taking the 14.
Alrighty. So you guys are once again able to continue down with very little disturbance. And after a while, Sammy takes Chi-Chi and puts him on Manawanui's shoulder.
I'm gonna like try and look nonchalant, but I'm kind of freaking out a little bit on the inside. Internal scream.
Yeah, but she just kind of smiles sweetly at you when she does it.
Like, nod my head kind of a little bit like.
I have a question.
"Don't leave me."
Where's Reginald?
Reginald is on his other shoulder.
Yeah, there we go. You know, he's walking. He's like, guys, where'd you go?
I have very short bird legs.
I mean, between the
can't
like
walk.
flying and hopping that birds can do, Reginald can probably navigate this more easily than any of you can.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't birds have like a internal navigation sense?
I mean, more for direction than like being in a cave. Bats
I
would be able to like navigate a cave more easily than you could. But Reginald is still going to be relying on sight. But there's plenty of light, so that's not a problem. So yeah, Reginald is just like hopping between rock and from rock to rock, following you guys.
Just gonna like look back at him and like, this goes south, buddy. I'm relying on you.
Alright, but Chi-Chi is quite well behaved, you know. Chi-Chi just kind of hangs on there and seems to be able to handle your wobbles and near slippings fairly easily.
Keyword seems.
And yeah, you guys continue down the cave for a while when Peepiopi, you see a one of the various branching paths that Manawanui has been marking as you've passed them, though of course you haven't quite reached this one, so it's not currently marked. But it feels very familiar somehow.
Let's go down this one. I've got a good
Why-
feeling.
Okay. I mean, I'm inclined to trust you. But I was, you know, author's note. He's not quite as bright mind as he's, you know, more than a little distracted.
Chi-Chi's just like lovingly wrapped his like tail around your neck.
Chi-Chi's
like-
tail
just like a
isn't
little
even
side
long
hug.
enough to do that.
It's like a little side hug around the back.
That Chi-Chi could do.
I'm gonna make a sigil at the cave head to mark where we've gone and where we've come from.
Alright, so as you approach it, you see that it quickly narrows down to a rather difficult squeeze. One that is much tighter than anything that you guys have had to go through so far. One that would be physically impossible for Ocalupu to even get through.
Yeah, I was about to ask if I was like, is Ocalupu gonna be able to make it through this? Okay, so the answer is no. So
I mean, not
Ocalupu
unless you want
tries,
to chop
gets
your
stuck.
arms off at the shoulder, then you might fit.
Can Chi-Chi
yeah, so
scout
Ocalupu-
ahead for us?
Yeah, why don't we send Chi-Chi ahead?
Okay, sure. So she grabs Chi-Chi and puts him down on the ground. And she just says, okay, Chi-Chi, we need you to go in there and see if it's safe. Is that what we're asking?
Yeah,
Yes.
safe.
Alright, go in and
Everything
see if it's safe to go in there. So Chi-Chi skitters off dutifully. And a couple minutes later, skitters back and she kind of picks him up and closes her eyes and kind of touches Chi-Chi's forehead to her own, and she says, well, Chi-Chi says that it is a tight squeeze for any big people like us, but that We could probably, some of us at least, should be able to fit through. He said it doesn't get any tighter than that bit there that we can see. And then afterward, it sounds like it opens up into a bit of a larger area. And that there's some sort of a dead person in there.
That
I'm
seems
already
safe.
through. I'm jumping through.
All right, we are going to need, I believe, squeezing was acrobatics. Let's look at our action chart. Or is that not even on here? Oh, here we go. Squeeze. Acrobatics.
Nice.
So let's get an acrobatics roll to see if you are able to
27.
squeeze through. All right, you do. And so you squeeze through and are now plunged into the dark. On the other side, you can feel around you that in fact the area has opened up and is much wider. But you can see off in a corner, or at least you assume it's a corner, off some ways from you, there is a faint blue glow, but it is pitch blackness surrounding it and between you and it.
I'm gonna cautiously crawl towards the light.
All right. So you manage to scrape your knuckles and stub your toe, but otherwise you do get there eventually. And you can see, just as in your vision, there seems to be a skeleton, quite old and desiccated, with just tatters of clothing still attached to it. Though unusually, it seems to be wearing much more clothing than any of your tribe do, or would have been, obviously, before all of it had rotted away. And you can see, clutched in one hand, that strange stone that you had seen in your vision. It's a small tablet about the size of Ocalupu's palm. And etched across it are odd symbols that you do not recognize in a glowing blue color. And grabbing it, you can feel that the stone is incredibly smooth, as smooth as any of the volcanic glass that you have interacted with in the past. Cool to the touch, though that's to be expected in the cool caves around you, and there are the symbols are etched in where you can feel as you run your hand across it where each one of them is indented into the surface. And then the entire thing is incredibly uniform and symmetrical. And then
All right.
feeling
I'm
along
gonna
the
pocket
bottom.
that guy.
All right. And then one
Pocket
last
that
detail, feeling
SOB.
along the bottom of it, you feel ridges, like small spikes that stick out along the bottom, while the rest of it has been very smooth. And
Yeah.
bottom just being like it's pointier on top and it's flat on bottom would be the way you would define bottom there.
Yeah. Something's telling me that this is the key of some sort to something. So we're gonna hold on to that guy.
All right. So with the thing now put away in your bag, it is pitch black. You cannot see where you came from. Well, I guess you'd be able to see like the bug's glow. So you can just see the glow of the bug from where you came in.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and go back the way I came.
All right. Yeah, so you do manage it. Let's get another squeeze roll. You see if you get stuck on your way out.
That'd be funny.
Spends another session trying to
21.
BOP.
All right, you made it through. You did not put on 30 pounds in your butt. amazingly in the last couple minutes.
I went on as an aside, I went on a caving trip in Budapest, and the tour guide was joking. He was like, "Oh, and don't even worry. Like, we've never had anybody get stuck. But if you do get stuck, it's not a big deal because then you just won't be able to eat, and then you'll lose some weight and slip right through."
There you go.
There are caves in Budapest?
There are caves under Budapest. It's like right under the city. Yeah.
No, so is it like something similar? Total rabbit trail. Is it something similar to like the ones in under Paris, or like is it like natural caves?
They're
Unrelated.
natural caves. It's not like the catacombs in Paris, if that's what you're
That's-
talking about.
Yeah. That's crazy. Sorry. Completely unrelated.
Yeah, but funny stuff about caves. Anyway, I'm back
Yeah.
through.
All right. So you are back through indeed, back with the rest of the group for awaiting your return.
So I'm not like Manawanui. I'm gonna share this with the group.
Hey man.
So
Some
found
people
this
are naturally suspicious.
found this thing. I don't recognize any of these symbols. Does anybody else recognize these symbols? I think it might be the key to something.
So Manawanui's gonna go up to it and can I do read aura on it?
Yeah. So it does give off magic, though, in a very odd way. The magic aura is different than what you've seen, where normally it's more like a cloud. This one, the magic aura has been constrained into straight lines and concentric shapes.
Do I get any insight from this?
I don't know. Do you?
So you said the lines have been transformed like straight lines?
Yeah. So the magic has been constrained to straight lines and concentric shapes.
It looks like a crop circle.
Kind of, yeah.
Manawanui's gonna touch one of them.
Right, nothing happens. You feel the same sensation that PPOP did, the smoothness of the surface and the fact that each of these glowing lines are indented into the surface.
Can I tell like what kind of magic it is?
I don't know, I'm trying to remember what the schools of magic are. It's relatively unimportant. It feels like magic, but it's not any specific school. It's not like it's illusionary. It's not like it's illusion or destruction or any of that. Not sure what the closest one would be.
Well, we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled.
It's
If it fits somewhere.
necromancy.
What? Go get that body. Just kidding. Wanna try something? No, I'm gonna. Oh my gosh, where's my brain?
Yeah, the closest would probably be enchantment, I would say. Abjuration. What's that one?
I'm gonna bring the stone over to Sammy and be like, hey, does this look like anything you or your mom would know anything about?
Maybe. That definitely doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before, though.
Well, that's interesting. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting everything. PPOP. My goodness. I'm gonna hand it back to him. Kind of still looking at it, resisting the urge to like pocket it.
You klepto.
I mean, I'm standing right here. How are you gonna pocket it?
What? I just pocket it, run. I can see better in the dark.
Just grab Pleakley,
Take out-
because without Pleakley or light magic, you're
exactly.
they would have no source of light.
Just rub off all of my sigils on the way back. Yeah, I was the only one who made it out alive.
Or no, they would,
It was
because they have
horrible.
Sammy. Sammy is also magic, so she'd actually be able to get them out. But
Yeah, but if I destroyed all my sigils, then would they know the way out?
that is a good question. What if Chi-Chi has been going behind you and erasing each of your sigils as you've gone?
TBH, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. Something sus is up with that rat. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why, but even though he's a rat, I picture him looking at have you guys know Pokemon the Rattatas? I picture him looking like the evolution form of that, like the chubby cheeks and stuff.
Nice. No, he looks like this.
Oh, he's actually a lot cuter.
Oh, he's cute.
No.
Gotta stay strong though. I know he's evil. Keep the faith.
You must be crazy.
Look at that fuzzy little head.
Exactly. Like I said,
Am I
or
crazy?
like Sammy said,
Or
it
am I
seems
evil?
like Mono Inui's a little paranoid.
Just a little paranoid.
You've seen what I've seen, my friend. Which is kind of funny. I feel like we've seen most of the same things, but don't worry about it.
Alright, so where are you going from here? You have the key.
I say we keep going into the heart of the mountain. Find what I haven't told you guys this, but I feel a very strong. I don't know what magic is, but
I know
spiritual
I've been
force.
complaining because all of the elders have been lying to us. But here's all the stuff I haven't been telling you guys at all. Basically been lying about.
Lies, deception. Don't listen to him. I feel this really strong magical force coming from that way. I feel like we should go find out what it is.
I mean, you don't feel a strong magical force. You feel a very faint magical force.
But I know it's a strong one. The closer the farther in we go, stronger it gets, guys. And if this is a key of some kind, maybe it can unlock something that'll help us save the world. Not sound dramatic.
How do you know it's been getting stronger as you've gone deeper? Have you actually checked that?
While that question's been asked, I'm gonna check right now. And probably, is it getting stronger? Question mark.
So, in fact, now that you're trying to sense specifically for that vague feeling you were getting before, it seems to have shifted. It's no longer in the direction the tunnel is heading, but is somewhere off to the right of you. And now that you've been exposed to the key, they feel related. But you are certain that unless you have been completely turned around somehow, which is possible given the shape of this tunnel, but if it has been trending in generally the same direction, the the vague magical force that you've been sensing has actually moved.
Quick question. Is it happen to also be the same direction that Chi-Chi is?
No.
Okay. We're safe. Is it like anybody else in the group?
Nope.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, you still get this normal magical sense off of people that you do. Like, pretty much everyone in your group is magical somehow. Sammy's a witch. Ocalupu is some sort of I don't know, tattoo
Avatar
spawning demigod.
Not that he looks like it right now, because he kind of got bored. So he's having a rock tournament. So he's smashing rocks together to see which one is the strongest.
Exactly. And PPOP seems to know things that don't make sense.
You know, if
You were
the
special.
hardness factor of that rock is greater than or equal to the force applied, then you're gonna have a shatter on your hands.
Ocalupu's like, all I heard was smash rock. Smash! As it explodes into lots of little bits.
I don't know, guys. It just feels like the things around this,
Yeah.
the vibes I'm getting from this rock, the
PPOP
vibes I'm getting from over there.
PPOP starts explaining the Mohs hardness scale.
Who's Mo? I don't know. What do you guys think, though?
I say we keep going down the path that we started down. We're not quitters.
I agree. You gonna make it?
Oh, yeah. I'll be fine.
All right. So you decide to continue down your path, and you go on for quite some time. Eventually, you become hungry. You eat more. You continue hiking. You get tired. You assume it's late enough to sleep.
For
Must
some reason,
keep
Manawanui is just like,
going.
no, guys, let's not camp. Let's just keep going, guys.
All right, I'm gonna need fortitude checks if you guys are gonna push through.
We're pushing through. I want to push
I-
through.
What's my
Fortitude.
fortitude?
I got a 20.
I got a 9. Seems bad.
Your fortitude is a +8. So Lloyd can get a 9.
24.
Okay, let's see what Sammy gets. Combat? Yeah, here it is. Alright, Sammy gets a 12. So, you can push through, but you are going to take D4 damage.
I'm gonna use my hero point.
Alright, re-roll it.
14. Is that enough?
Let's see, how long have you been going? Yeah, that's enough.
We've just been gone for like 5 hours.
Right?
How long have we been gone for?
I remembered my hero point, guys.
Woot!
Yay!
So
Not gonna lie, I kinda forgot about it.
Sammy's like, do we have to keep going? I'm so tired. Ocalupu, carry me again.
We'll carry her. Ocalupu can pick things up.
Okay. Alright, so you guys do push on deeper into the cave system. At this point, you've been gone for, by your best estimations, actually, does Sammy have a spell for that? I feel like she has one that tells directions, not one that tells times.
Certainly would be useful.
Yeah, she just has no direction. So she can always tell which way is north. So if you wanted to know whether or not you've actually deviated from the direction, or if that faint source of magic has moved, Sammy can actually tell you.
She wouldn't have happened to have taken that before we started. Would you have
Done what?
done no direction?
I mean, she would know before you left what direction was north, and then it would be useful when you're in the caves where you could get turned around easily because you have no landmarks to tell you direction.
Poor Delia. So I'm before she passes out on Mono Nui, I'm like, hey, Sammy, are we still headed in the same direction we started?
So she like looks for a minute. It's like, yeah, pretty much.
And then I'm gonna point. Okay, well I guess from that I would know which way the feeling has moved.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you guys were headed more or less north and still are, and it seems to have shifted toward the east.
So to our right. Yeah.
Yes, to your right. All right, so you guys continue down into the cave, and it's now at this point you've been traveling for, to your best estimation, over 2 days. You have no idea what the state of the storm is outside, or what the villagers think of your being just gone for 2 days without telling anyone, unless you did tell someone.
I'm sure they think we're fine.
What's the worst that could happen?
Comes back to our own funeral.
Right.
Hi
Our
guys.
stuff being auctioned off.
But yeah, so you guys push on, and at this point, it has gotten noticeably warmer. Before it was actually rather cool, around 64 degrees, but at this point, it is getting to where it's actually warm enough that, especially with all the humidity, you are all sweating quite a bit, and you do. As you continue, you can smell that a faint rotten egg smell in the air. And eventually, as you're pushing on through the hours, exhaustion continuing to grow worse, you see a faint red glow ahead of you.
We made it to the volcano.
Woo!
Right.
Wonder what
Great if
lava
they don't
tastes
get
like.
burnt.
Probably like searing pain.
Hey, I think that one guy, Sato, Masso?
Sadomaso.
Sato Masso?
He loves it.
Right.
10 out of 10. Would recommend.
Can't get enough. All right. So do you push on?
I am. I'm gonna be excited by this. I'm like, oh yeah, finally. And kind of pick up my pace and go a little bit in front of everybody. Probably not a good idea, but we'll see.
So yeah, so you push into the front and you continue on. The feeling of exhaustion having largely lifted at the excitement that you're feeling, and you push on almost too fast as you almost skip off the edge of a sheer cliff at the end of the tunnel.
Woo!
And let's get a reflex save to see just how close you are to falling off, or maybe you do fall off.
Die.
Let's get a nat 1. Come on, baby.
Oh jeez, it's not as bad as a nat 1. I got a nat 2. So it's a 7.
You do have a hero
I'm
point.
going to use my hero point to re-roll. I do not wish to die. Not today.
Be funny if you
I got a 17. Okay, I got a 22.
All right.
17 plus 5.
So you come skidding, just barely able to stop yourself as the pebbles under your feet are rolling rather precipitously close to the edge. But you stop yourself just in time as you're wobbling over the edge, and you can see down an enormous sheer cliff that goes down so far that you cannot see the bottom except for a faint red glow and a fog that seems to be down there. And as everyone catches up and PPOP grabs your shoulder, steadying you before you can fall any further toward the edge of the glyph. You all see around you an awe-inspiring sight. There is an enormous river, like a waterfall of lava spewing out of the cliff opposite from you, tumbling down an interminable distance, as I said, into a fog that glows red, many, many hundreds of feet below you. And looking around the edges, you can see that your tunnel actually juts out some 15 feet from the edge of this enormous hole in the ground. Looking up, you see a stone ceiling, also probably 100 or 200 feet above you. And all across the walls of the cave, you can see glittering stones shimmering in a rainbow of different colors.
Ooh,
Shiny.
pretty.
I'm gonna pull out my little white stone and see what it does.
Just jerks itself straight out of your hand.
Yeah, it's just like, I go now. What's the line, like I must return to my people or something like that? I don't know. I feel like there's a meme for that. But yeah, so it seems to point just to the right of the river of lava.
Is it?
I wonder
Do I see any?
What'd you say?
I was gonna ask if I saw any.
Look.
There.
Oh, in
Where
that
it's
direction? The edge of the cliff, glittering with all those shiny stones.
Shiny stones, shiny stones, shiny stones.
Ocalupu, go get one.
That is.
Is there any way to get like over there?
I mean, okay. I will pull out the drawing thing because if the answer is not clear to you from my earlier description. All right.
Nah, I figure there's
Big
probably
hole
not,
in
but
the
like
ground.
maybe there's like a little, maybe
Lava
there's a little cliffy thing.
Spewing down into the distance. Everything drops down.
Was there like maybe like a little
Hundreds
rocky
of feet
outcropping
into a red haze. All right. This is sheer cliffside. And you guys are in a tube that is sticking out about 15 feet from the edge of the cliff.
Okay. Well, like if I look to the sides, are there any shiny rocks like on the sides of the cliff near us?
Yes, here, 15 feet away from you.
Just need a really long stick. Many weeps, many weeps.
Reginald. Fetch.
Right? Sure, risk Ocalupu's life, but
There's
when it comes
probably
to Reginald-
plenty of billowing thermals for him to keep gliding indefinitely.
How hot is it above this thing?
At
Like,
this point, it is not enough to sear you, but it is quite uncomfortable.
But would it kill Reginald?
The air where you are would not. You don't know about the air further out.
I'm gonna take a piece of meat from Ocalupu and throw it out into the middle of the column.
just cooks instantly.
Nope, but it does. I mean, does Ocalupu let you take meat? That doesn't sound like Ocalupu.
He's
Yeah.
distracted by the shiny stone.
I mean, this is true. He is kind of like almost leaning over the edge, but like not quite, but like just kind of like judging it, you know, like can I do this? Are my arms long enough?
As long
My
as it
strength's
doesn't-
just right. Can I get there?
All right. Well, the meat is plucked from your bags and tossed out, where it then descends down into the abyss and disappears into the red mist.
Did I see it like cook or anything?
No. To be fair, you also couldn't see it very well, and like for meat to cook that fast, it would have to be so hot that it would kill you where you stand.
You know, we won't risk it. I'm out of hero points. More important. Does Reginald get a hero point?
For what?
You know, for his actions.
What did he do?
I don't know, like, hypothetically, if he would have fly out there, could he maybe spend a hero point to stop himself from getting cooked?
No, Reginald does not have his own hero point.
Dang. Sad day for Reginald.
And you definitely wouldn't earn a hero point for greedily trying to acquire gems.
But they're shiny.
Yeah, we'll just keep him where he's at for now. Good old Reginald.
But one thing that is brought to mind as you see this was a discussion you had with Pele the night of the feast, where she had talked about different ways that you could get to the spirit world, one of which was that upside down world that you had seen when you had visited the volcano. The other is she said that there were ways to get to them below ground or below the ocean. And so
we just need to jump off.
You first.
I got it, guys. Just need to jump over the edge.
Grabs Chi-Chi, throws him over. Don't worry.
I swear. I'm gonna look over the edge and see if it looks like, you know, there's anything on the, you know, maybe if I see like another person looking back up at me, or like something spirit worldish.
no, just the red mist.
I might take a rock and drop it down.
All right, it
And,
very
like, watch it
similarly to the meat that you also threw, plummets down through the air and disappears into the mist.
Does it make any sound?
Nope, you don't hear anything.
I think we need to jump, guys.
You first.
I intrepidly dive like a swan dive off the cliff. No. I'm pretty sure it will be safe.
Well, go for it. Or
Want
don't.
to do like any sort of like checks or like magic?
Can I like, I don't know, is there something I can do to try and see if there, I'm gonna do a detect magic. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right,
I'm gonna
you
detect and
definitely sense magic of all kinds of varieties down there.
I am going to, can I, well, let me see something. Can I lift myself? Lift.
Can we save the game in case we screw it up?
Can we do
Back
it?
It's like, all right, I'm gonna drop a quick save, then I'm gonna kill Chi-Chi, see how that goes, then I'm gonna resume that save in case that goes badly, and then we'll try jumping off.
Basically. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to send a not much I can do. I'm gonna send a ray of frost down there. Just like shoot a little blast of frost down the hole.
All right. What's the range
See
on
what
that?
happens. Oh, I don't think it's long enough. JK. I think it's only fit 11. I tell you.
Let's see, 120 feet.
Okay, that's not bad.
All
I'm
right.
gonna
It
do it.
shoots off, but dissipates before it reaches the red mist.
Like it melts.
No, like that's how long the spell goes, and it would do the same thing if you shot it into the sky.
Oh, so it's farther than 120 feet down. Can
Oh yeah, I
do
said it was
a-
hundreds of feet down.
Oh, that's right. You did say that. Dang it. I'm gonna do an academic lore check. See if I can discern anything from this.
Okay, so you remember what you had talked about with Pele the night before, how there are multiple entrances to the spirit world, both, the mirror world that you had seen above you, and then also entrances that take you under the ocean. And then you have heard stories of heroes who have descended to these sorts of places. They sound very similar. Areas that allow you to access the spirit world down below the oceans. You've heard different versions with the giant whirlpools or enormous portals or whatnot, but all of them have the same theme. You just have to get deep enough.
Does anyone come back?
Nobody that you know, but you also don't know anyone who's tried. In the stories that you've heard, of course the heroes come back.
Right, otherwise there's no story.
Yeah. Where did the story come from? I'm gonna ask PPOP to like take out his little stone and see if that does something.
Yeah, let's check it out. Maybe there's a key to somewhere.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Hopefully.
you take out the stone and it is glowing brighter than it was before. But otherwise there's no particular change.
Alright guys. I'm gonna jump in. But I think I need the key to jump through in.
Why don't we see if there's like another pathway that takes us like, I don't know, lower down?
Well, are there any? Well, I think this is the only one, right? I'm gonna look down.
Well, there was like 3 paths at the beginning, one of which like immediately started going down lower.
Does any other? Do I see any other openings in the cave wall below me?
You actually do. You see one some ways below you, though not so much that it would make any difference in terms of like, oh, if I jumped from there, I'd be less likely to die. And another one above you.
If I did a survival check, I couldn't like see if like I could survive.
You can't even see what you would be hitting through the red mist.
Well, there's mist, meaning there has to be water.
Or steam.
What steam comes
From lava.
water.
Or like fumes from the lava.
So if I jump.
Alright, I'm starting a 3-minute timer, and if you guys haven't decided to either jump or not by the end of it, I'm gonna make you make new character. No. You have 3 minutes to decide.
We can go back, or one of us can jump, right? That seems to be the options.
Or all of us can jump.
Or all of us can jump. You can't end the game if we all jump off.
PPOP is a cynic. I don't think you're gonna be able to convince PPOP to jump off on blind faith.
I thought PPOP had a opening, a renewal of religion.
Of faith in the gods, not faith in jumping into lava pools.
Do any of the stories tell about like how they got there? So like they go underground, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they maybe jump off a cliff into undetermined mysteriousness?
Yeah, that's definitely a version that you've heard of it, where they just jump into some seemingly bottomless pit and find themselves in the spirit world. Others have them being sucked down giant whirlpools in their boats and being cast ashore in the spirit world.
Alright, guys. Let's do it. You with me, Ocalupu?
No.
Are you with me, PPOP? Or Sammy?
No.
Mm. You only live once.
How about we go find the other source of magic first?
I want to see him jump.
We'll just push him at this point. He said he's gonna go.
Yeah, I'm going to jump. And yeah. We'll see how that goes.
All right.
Goodbye, cruel world.
I need you to hand me your character sheet. You've died, and I can't tell you why. Start your next character.
Oh. Did I actually die?
Actually, we're gonna wrap up here, and you're gonna find out next time.
Oh, the
no!
cliffhanger.
Alrighty, so let's wrap up as we always do with what did you learn, PPOP?
PPOP learned that Manawanui is a fanatic. I love it. I love the energy.
Ocalupu, what have you learned?
Ocalupu learned that the black rocks with no holes in them are way stronger than the black rocks with holes in them.
Yeah.
Structural integrity, some say.
Exactly. All right, and I feel like the most important one here, Manawanui, what have you learned?
I don't. We'll see, won't we?
We'll see.
I'm not quite sure what I've learned yet. As I plummet towards this redness.
Yeah, nothing that he's learned means anything until we find out what he's about to learn.
Alrighty, well, thanks everyone for joining me.